Hello, Facebook. I hope all is well. As usual, and as always, I'm not going to hold you long. I just want to encourage you to live believable to yourself. Always live in a way where you are believable to you. Other people may not believe you, but you want your soul to believe you. You want your soul to constantly believe you because when you believe you, your soul will empower your body to accomplish every goal that you seek. That is good. That is good. And even if it's bad, coming up, we did a lot of outlandish things because our bodies gave us permission to do it. Our desire gave us permission to do outlandish things. And we were able to sneak and do what we were doing. We were able to sneak and do things. We were able to commit to things. We were able to, especially as a young man, if it was a woman I wanted to see, a young lady, it made me walk 5 miles to go see her. Whenever there was a deep desire to do something that you want to do, you'll walk a long way to do it. And I even had a young lady will walk if she wants to. And you know how it is. We were in school, teenagers doing our thing. That's what we do. And that's how we did it. And if you wanted to do it, you could make a way. You could catch a bus with no money. You could borrow money that you're not going to pay back. You could promise to pay and don't have no money. If it's something you want, your soul would release the motivation to do it. So make yourself believable. Always be believable to yourself. Always feed yourself powerful things so your soul could know that you're someone that it could depend on, and it's going to happen. Um, be believable. Just write that down so I can know you're seeing it. Always put something in you where your soul can know that you're not lying and you're not procrastinating with yourself. It's not theological, it's not spiritual, it's not churchy. It's just if your heart is committed to something godly or something divine or something beautiful, it will release you to do it. And if you want to do it, and if you know yourself, I don't care what anybody say to you or about you. No one can defeat you. I don't care what people say to you. And you know this. You already know this. And you don't need me to tell you. You don't need me to tell you. If it's something you want to do it. And ask yourself, how come I can't? What's the reason? Why can't I do it? Do you really want to do it? Why can't I do it? Well, I mean, really, that's the question. And when you know that you can, you won't need anybody to open the door. But when you're left to yourself, you got to ask yourself, what's the reason behind me not doing it? What's hindering me? What's hindering me from doing it? And why am I so angry at other people for doing it? When it comes to leadership and ministry and spirituality, everybody's trying to say, don't listen to this person or listen to that person. And you don't need this and you don't need, and you don't need this. It's like we never think of that when we go to the store. We don't never think of that when we go to the store. We look for the manager. If there is a problem at the store, we look for the manager and we say, I need to report this to the manager. We believe in superiorness and authority when it comes to stores, jobs, and everything else. But when it comes to spiritual life, it's like it's a problem with people in authority. Are you teaching me from your experience? Are you teaching me from you? Okay. So as a leader, I'm going to say this to you. Are you believable? And live believable. Give your heart something to believe in. Be able to move when you know it. Be able to move when you know it. What's hindering you from doing what's in your heart? What's hindering you from believing in yourself? What's stopping you from doing it? We have a lot of problems with authority. But are you believable to you? Because you are your first leader. You are your first student. You are the first student of the teacher in your soul. All of you are students to your inner teacher. And I'm going to ask you, how many of you are listening to your teacher within? Not an outside teacher, but your teacher within you, that's within you all the time. How many of you are passing your tests? Whenever your teacher says, let's try this, and let's go do this and let's go do that. Do you listen to your teacher perfectly? Because when your soul gives you your degree, you have graduated. You've graduated when your soul says, I don't have to remind you to get up anymore. I don't have to remind you to do anything anymore, because I know you're going to take advantage of every opportunity, because you are believable. You are believable. You are believable. Am I making sense, guys? I'm not gonna hold you long. I don't need to get up here with a lot of stuff. It's not theological. It's one of these crazy waters. When you drink, all the water comes out. But yeah, how many of you understand what I'm saying? Are you believable to yourself? How many of you feel you are, with a show of hands? And say this: am I believable to me? Because when I make up my mind, my soul will release the adrenaline for me to do it, because my soul knows that I'm not lying to myself. How many of you right now, your soul knows that you're not lying to yourself? That you will follow every instruction in yourself? Because in this day and age, it's like nobody wants a leader. And it's like you really don't need a leader for your spiritual life. Like, I need a leader. No, you don't really need a leader per se. I need somebody to lead me. Because if they don't lead you, what do? No, you're following yourself. You're following yourself. You're following yourself. How many of you guys understand what I'm talking about? Yeah. When you're believable to yourself, your real teacher will talk to you and teach you and lead you and things like that. Because so many of us feel we're being led into somebody else's thoughts. We're being led into their own experiences. Somebody else is teaching us to be with them while they practice on folks. After a while, people become distrusting, and because we don't know if people are building things and needing company. We don't know if a lot of the teachers are just needing company, and we're going to call the company students, and we get the students to do everything. And after a while, everybody's burnt up and in a bad mess. But really, it's not about that. It's how believable are you to yourself? And are you following your instructions? And are you completing things that's in your heart for you to do? Because we accept authority at the stores, we accept them at the malls, we accept them at our jobs. But when it comes to spiritual mindedness and becomingness, it's like we want a leaderless place. We just want to be left alone and go our way. Okay. So are you following yourself in your way? What way do you want? And are you following yourself perfectly? Which way are you trying to accomplish? Where are you trying to end up? Where are you really trying to go? Are you wanting the freedom to wander and just wander? Or is there a point of reference you're trying to make? How many of you guys understand what I'm saying by a show of hands? Because I won't be on here long. I have a client coming in here in just a minute. I just wanted to say this. So in your pursuit and in your journey of life, are you believable to you? Does your soul know that you are the total truth? Are you living your truth? And what is that truth? Is that truth empowering you to transcend all of your own doubts? What is it that you're living that's making you doubt yourself? What is it that you're living that's causing you to believe in the voice of somebody else, but when it comes to you, you can't believe you? Why is it that you can't believe you? What did you do? What are you doing? And what do you feel that causes you not to trust your own steps? Are you believable? What is it that you're doing? What do you know? What was done to you that's hindering you from believing you? Do you believe that you can do whatever it is? Do you believe that? Do you believe it? Because when you believe it and you trust it, your soul will connect in your cells and in your frequency and your bloodline, and it will create a habit within you that causes you to do it. That's a hard discipleship. A lot of us are accustomed to getting taught at. A lot of us are not accustomed to getting ourselves taught. When your selves are taught, it creates a culture of thinking that naturally causes you to do the powerful thing by habit. You won't have to try to think about it, and you won't have to say, well, this is the right thing to do. I'm going to try to do it. But when it's in your cells, how many of you have ever had your cells and atoms taught? See, when you really learn something, it gets in you, it gets in your system. It gets in your system. It's ingrained in you. Like when you pull up to a stop sign, automatically you stop. It's in your system. Some things are ingrained in our consciousness. It's in us. And that's a discipleship teaching. That's the most intense type of impartation you could experience. Some people like easy teaching, which means talk at my intellect and let me multiple truths. But Jesus taught in a way where he ingrained his embodiment in the experience of people. And I find that most people are really afraid of that type of ingrained teaching of the selves and consciousness because it removes them from a limited opinion. So what have you done with yourself? What have you done with yourself to make you afraid to listen to yourself? It's not a matter if you can listen to a teacher. What makes you afraid to listen to your own mind? When you say, I want to do great things, do you believe yourself? Has the teaching been ingrained in you? Not the pain of the teaching, because that's a hard method, but the intensity of the teaching, it's in your cells. That's when you begin to shift the culture of your life. And when your culture changes, your habits and what you reach for is very different. How many of you are experiencing a culture shift? Your culture has been changed. When your culture has been changed, how you perceive naturally agrees with the seed that's been put in you. And you naturally, by habit, go. Just like fear is ingrained. You can be walking and at night and see somebody walking towards you, and all of a sudden your heart rate goes up because you don't know what's going to happen, because it's in you that an imminent danger may be coming, and your senses begin to let you know. And then the person just passed by you. They didn't do anything, but because we're ingrained to see fear in different ways and shapes and sizes and perspectives, whenever that example is before us, our heart rate goes up. It's built in. It's the uncertainty, and that's ingrained in us. How many understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to go. Well, truth and belief and light can be just as ingrained in your system as fear. How many of you have light ingrained in you just like fear? When the possibilities of beauty is there and doing empowered things and great things, your heart rate goes up because it's like, oh, I'm about to fly. I'm about to fly. I'm about to walk on water. I'm about to walk on water. I'm about to go through this wall. How many of you have that? How many understand what I'm saying? It could be so in you that when the possibilities of wisdom and purpose is upon you, that adrenaline comes. You say, oh, let me do it, let me do it. And after a while, you can believe from that adrenaline because your soul says, we recognize this in front of you. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Hopefully I'm not getting so deep or whatever. Believable. What have you done where you don't believe in you? Because when there is a self-belief, there is the validation that comes along. And the validation makes an announcement to the atmosphere that you are ready. Why? I'm asking this before I go. Do you feel ready? And if you don't feel ready, why? Why don't you feel ready? Have you used with intention all of your seconds and minutes and hours? Have you purposely used them? Have you intentionally benefited from every second, millisecond